What are the top 10 best Mega Man X characters when we don't count X himself? That's right, Mega Man X is not going to be featured in this list, and neither are any of the 8 Mavericks from each game, or in other words, the Mega Man X equivalent of Robot Masters. I know they're Mavericks, but I mean, Mavericks aren't banned from this list, just, you know, the 8 bosses that you have to fight per game. Meaning, this top 10 is only for mainline characters, and starting off, we have Lumine. The first thing of note about Lumine is that he may be a femboy. I don't know for sure if he qualifies as a femboy, and if it was confirmed that Lumine was a femboy, he might be number 1. But that aside, Lumine is the final boss in Mega Man X8, and it even shows up after Sigma, which is a first in the Mega Man X series. I mean, we've had some fake final bosses before, only to be later upstaged by Sigma, but Lumine actually was the final boss of Mega Man X8, so we gotta give him credit for that. He's also made of more futuristic tech than Mega Man X and his friends, which he loves showing off in their face, but that didn't really work out too well for Lumine, so that's actually why he's so low on this list. I love the idea of Lumine. I love Lumine's design, and it's even a super fun fight. But Lumine himself is a little bit too arrogant to be higher than number 10 on this list. I mean, he's still cool, just not as great as he might think he is. So, congratulations, Lumine. You are the 10th best character from the Mega Man X series. Next up, we have a surprise entry being Rico. Now, a lot of you are probably surprised that a Mega Man X Dive exclusive character would make it into the top 10 best characters list, but don't get used to it. Rico is pretty much the only good thing to come out of Mega Man X Dive as far as I'm aware, but I haven't really played that game, so I guess it is stupid of me to assume that. I do plan on making a video on Mega Man X Dive offline in the near future. I mean, I already bought the game and everything, but I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet. But anyway, I like Rico for a number of reasons. First of all, she is a 2D woman, one of my favorite types of women. Secondly, her design is actually cool. I would love to see her make a return in Mega Man X9, even though that probably would not make a ton of sense story-wise. But the main reason I like her so much is that she breaks the fourth wall and talks to the player directly, and in this case, that's me! Again, I don't know too much about the Mega Man X Dive story. I understand the gist of it, but from what I understand, Rico has a really cool role, and I like her a lot. Plus, it's a 2D woman that talks to me directly. That alone makes her the 9th best character from the Mega Man X franchise. Coming in at number 8, we have another surprise entry being Dr. Doppler. Now, this guy does not play a huge role in the overall arching Mega Man X plot, but he's still a cool character. He acted as the main villain for Mega Man X3 for the majority of the game, and even had the balls to fight Mega Man X head-on. There aren't many characters in any Mega Man franchise that will just straight up box with Mega Man. Obviously, Sigma will, but he's a robot just like Mega Man, so that doesn't really count. Dr. Wily doesn't just straight up battle Mega Man, he needs a big elaborate Wily machine to even go near him. But Dr. Doppler fights with Mega Man X directly, which is very respectable. Unless, of course, he is a robot too. I honestly don't know whether or not he is because I can't read, but he looks like a human, so I'm just going to assume he is. But even if that doesn't count, he still has a cool design. He made a suit that absorbs your attacks and refills his own health. And he has crazy hair paired with a matching beard. I like a lot about Dr. Doppler here. If all that wasn't enough, he even has a redemption arc. Despite being the bad guy for basically the entirety of Mega Man X3, right when Mega Man X is cornered and about to lose, all hope is lost and Sigma is about to take over Mega Man X's body. Then suddenly, literally out of nowhere, Dr. Doppler shows up and sacrifices himself to save Mega Man X. Do I think this is Deus Ex Machina? No, I think this is an amazing character arc for Dr. Doppler and shows how much of an underrated character he is. I would say it's a shame he doesn't show up more often, but he did die, so thanks Dr. Doppler, you are the 8th best character from the Mega Man X franchise. For number 7, we have possibly one of the most underrated Mega Man X characters in the entire series, Marino from Mega Man X Command Mission. First of all, I love her design. Pink and green is an underrated color combination that I wish more characters would use. But on top of her great design, she's also a thief, which automatically makes her cool because stealing is really cool. In Command Mission, she isn't even technically a good guy. She's literally just a thief, and the bad guys happen to be getting in her way, so she teams up with Mega Man X just because of that, which is a really unique thing for the series, and I appreciate that in her character a lot. Plus, her theme song is a banger, I can't even lie. Marino, or Marino, or however you want to say it, is just a super fun character all around. Great design, great story, and great character traits, and I even like her in my party on the rare occasion that I do play Mega Man X Command Mission. Now, I do know that she is not a 2D woman, since Mega Man X Command Mission is a 3D game, but apparently in Mega Man X Dive she has this Halloween skin, and I mean, good googly moogly, maybe I've been too harsh on Mega Man X Dive, but get this filth off my screen. And by this filth, I of course mean Marino, who is easily the 7th best character in the Mega Man X franchise. Coming in at number 6, we have a fan favorite being Iris. Now, personally, I prefer Marino to Iris, but it's understandable that Iris has had a much bigger impact on both the Mega Man X series and its fans. First of all, Iris is basically Zero's girlfriend in the game, even though Zero's voice actor actually did marry Marino's voice actor in real life back in 2020, so I don't know, guys, maybe I'm in the right about Marino being better. Plus, Iris is dead, but joking aside, Iris plays a huge role in this game and even becomes a difficult boss fight if you play as Zero. But on top of Iris just in general being a fan favorite, she also caused what is easily my favorite cutscene in the entire Mega Man X franchise, and I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. I mean, you guys know the one, right? The one where she dies and she's all like, bleh, and then Zero goes, no, what am I fighting for? You know, he sounds like that. You know the one, right? Well, that whole cutscene could not have happened without Iris. Plus, she got her brother, the Colonel, killed defending her, which is actually not very cool of Iris, so I'm slowly convincing myself that I should have put Marino here instead, but I'm trying to stay objective here, guys. I may like Marino or Marino or however you're supposed to say it more than Iris, but I know that people like Iris more, and Iris is undeniably more important in the Mega Man franchise, so because of this, Iris, congratulations, you are the 6th best character from the entire Mega Man X franchise, even though it's really close to being Marino. I mean, you're on thin ice, Iris. Thin ice! For number 5, we have the one, the only Sigma. That's right, Sigma himself is at number 5, and I'm sure a few of you guys are like, hey, that's too low for Sigma. He should be at least number 4, maybe even 3. But nope, I think he fits perfectly in the number 5 spots. But that's not to say he's not a great character, because he is. I mean, I love Sigma. First of all, his design is super cool. He has a lightsaber the first time you fight him, and then the second time you fight him, you learn that he's actually just really into cosplaying, which is super cool for a video game villain such as Sigma. Plus, story-wise, Sigma is basically the continuations of Dr. Wily's will from the original classic series, and that just adds a huge level of depth to all of the Mega Man X games that I think most people who don't pay attention to the story don't even realize. If you guys didn't know, Dr. Wily made Zero, and he had something called the Zero virus, which you may have heard of. And then Sigma found Zero and got infected, which somehow cured Zero. I'm not sure how that happened, but either way, Sigma ended up with Dr. Wily's will basically into him, and that pretty much makes him Dr. Wily, which makes even more sense when you consider all of his elaborate Sigma machines that he uses to fight Mega Man with, and his giant Sigma fortresses. I mean, really, it was in plain sight the whole time. But with how cool Sigma is, you're probably wondering, why is he not higher on the list? Well, I'll give you 2 reasons. 1, he's bald. And I'm sorry, I don't want to offend any bald people out there. There's nothing wrong with being bald as a human being, but Sigma is a robot and was designed bald on purpose, which is just weird. But secondly, his name, Sigma. It's turned into a brain rot slang term, and now it physically hurts me to say. I mean, I still associate the word Sigma with Sigma himself. We have little kids walking around saying Sigma, Giga Chad, what the Sigma, and all that without even knowing who they're referring to, and that's just messed up. I guess that wasn't Sigma's fault, but he could have come up with a better name for himself. But either way, he's still great. It's just those 2 minor reasons keeping him as only the 5th best character from the entire Mega Man X series. Well, that and Moldy Sigma. None of us like Moldy Sigma, right? Boo, Moldy Sigma, boo! For number 4, we probably have the most shocking entry yet, Spider from Mega Man X Command Mission. Now, before you guys start booing me, hear me out. This guy is cool. He even gambles. I love gambling. Marino stole, which is super cool, but Spider gambles, which is way cooler than stealing. I love gambling. I can't stop. Can't stop winning, that is. Anyway, this has always been one of my favorite Mega Man X characters, and it's a shame he's not in any other game, but I mean, it does make sense, I guess, because he's dead and all. Yeah, if you didn't know, Spider actually sacrifices himself to save Mega Man X and crew during Command Mission. Some people misunderstand and think that Spider is secretly the final boss, but that's a common misconception. The final boss was actually a shapeshifter and shapeshifted into Spider after he died to cause some mayhem, but that's a whole can of worms that I'll get into more if I ever get around to making a review video on Mega Man X Command command mission. So yeah, Spider is a good guy. He starts off fighting Mega Man X, and he joins the party, and Zero argues with them, and they have an edgy, mysterious character throwdown, only for Zero to eventually come back and Spider to sacrifice himself for Zero. So yeah, I guess Spider won that battle, but that doesn't mean he won the war, because Zero still has yet to show up on this list. And I mean, I'm not gonna spoil the video, but that would be crazy if Zero wasn't on this list, right guys? Anyway, I just like Spider a lot, and I think he deserves to be on this list. Maybe a lot of you think he's ranked too high, but this is my list, so congratulations, Spider. Your sacrifice was not in vain, because you were the 4th best character from the Mega Man X franchise. Starting off the top 3, we now have Vile. Okay, to be frank with you guys, Vile, Sigma, and Spider can all be switched around in this list, and I probably would not have a problem with it. It's practically a 3-way tie, and ranking them has pretty much been a gut decision, so I may look at this video again a year from now and think that I should have been, I don't know, Vile, Sigma, then Spider, or Vile, Spider, then Sigma, etc. I don't know. I just wanted to get that off of my chest before everyone comments asking why Vile is over Sigma, but I'm gonna tell you why I put Vile over Sigma and Spider anyway. Exhibit A. He looks like Samus or a Star Wars clone trooper or Boba Fett, and I love his design. It's one of my favorites in the entire series, especially when he's purple, because that is a great color. I also like that he enjoys riding mech armor things. That's a pretty cool thing to do. I wish I could ride a mech armor thing. But most of all, I enjoy the fact that he is a recurring enemy in the series that is not Sigma, because other than Vile, I can't think of anyone who would fit that role. I mean, yeah, obviously Sigma comes back, but he is the Dr. Wily of the Mega Man X series, as we've already established. Vile, on the other hand, is more like the base of the series before Base turned into a good guy, because he's a nice rival for Mega Man X. Sure, he is always really easy, which is a shame, and he hasn't really had any character arc turning him into a good guy like Base has, but I mean, Vile is still super cool. I honestly don't have a lot more to say about him other than that, but I just love Vile. I even have a toy of him, as you've seen in the background of this very video. Sure, I also have a toy of Sigma, but I'm tired of defending myself. Vile is super cool, and I'm declaring him as the 3rd best character from the Mega Man X franchise. For number 2, we have one of the best characters in all of Mega Man, and the 2nd best character from Mega Man X. Of course, this is Zero. Now, some of you are probably already typing in the comments about how Zero should be number 1, but let the video finish out, guys, okay? I'm sure once you see who number 1 is, you will not disagree, but anyway, Zero is still amazing. He's super cool, he's more powerful than Mega Man X sometimes, which makes him even cooler. He has a red design, so he kind of plays the Proto Man role in the Mega Man X series, except a much more powerful and cool version. I mean, sure, he doesn't have the sunglasses like Proto Man does, but he makes up for that with his strength. And Zero's ponytail looks a lot like Proto Man's scarf. I mean, I'm just saying, guys. But random comparisons aside, Zero is just great. He probably has the best story out of anyone in the Mega Man franchise, because he was built by Dr. Wily, which is insane. I've already talked about that in this video, so I won't waste your time doing it again, but it just adds some more depth to Zero as a character than Mega Man X's friend, who is sometimes more powerful than him and sacrifices himself a lot. You know, he's just a cooler character because of the story. Zero also has a great voice in cutscenes all the time. He has both a sword and a gun, and despite the game being called Mega Man X, once you get into the later entries like X5 and onward, it seems to be more focused around Zero. I mean, this guy is just amazing. Zero is the embodiment of coolness and is one of the best characters out of the entire Mega Man series, not just Mega Man X. I mean, he should get his own series based off of him or something at this rate, my goodness. But anyway, this of course makes you wonder who could possibly be number 1, but just stay tuned and you'll find out. For now, it's time to congratulate Zero on being the 2nd best character in the entire Mega Man X franchise. Now, coming in at number 1, tensions are high. No one was expecting anyone other than Zero to be here, but once number 1 reveals itself, you will all understand. The best character from the Mega Man X franchise is of course none other than Green Biker Dude. I mean, this guy is just great. Can we get a like on the video for Green Biker Dude? It's a shame he died so young. I mean, all the guy was trying to do was show off his sick wheelie for Mega Man X, and for a split second, he wasn't paying attention and got shot by an enemy. It's a real shame, because for all we know, he's more powerful than Zero. We just never got the chance to see what he's capable of. So rest in peace, Green Biker Dude. We all love you, and you are the best character from the entire Mega Man X franchise. Those were the top 10 characters from the Mega Man X series, barring Mega Man X, of course. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and of course, we could do a video like this on the Mavericks in the near future if you guys want to see that, but I have already made like 10 videos on the Mavericks, so really you should watch those. It's kind of rude not to.